Did you ever think someone could talk this much about chocolate croissants?
No.
Yeah.
It is one of the most perfect treats out there. Beautiful, flaky, buttery croissant wrapped around the sweetness, that is chocolate. Now, I am obsessed. So I actually compiled data from thousands of eateries to mathematically find the top bakeries in New York City. It actually was interesting and surprising. To get this list, I wanted to take away all of my bias and look at the math to find the best result. First, I had to scrape data from Google Maps. Any listing that had in its description or reviews the term croissant. So I began to filter out things like supermarkets or attractions like Central Park. But we'll get into the interesting data later. For now, let's get to the good part, actually eating these amazing treats. We're gonna be judging the croissants on appearance, croissant taste, chocolate taste, and the amount of chocolate. Not too much, but not too little either. Very traditional chocolate croissant. It's a little bit brown, very classic, 2 batons of chocolate in there, but it's definitely a bit bready. Even though it's a chocolate croissant and flakes are getting everywhere, I really like the croissant to be a bit more buttery. It doesn't kick out or stand out to me in a meaningful way. So definitely when you talk about chocolate croissants, I think that there's this idea of less is more, but if you could tell by the smile on my face, I'm getting excited for this chunky boy. You can see the chocolate, through the ribs. All right, now my excitement has started to tone down a little bit. Look at how tight that is. It doesn't look as flaky. It doesn't look as many open layers as a croissant should be. Do you see that? How I push my finger in there and it kind of just holds? Definitely the chocolate comes through, and it's a different chocolate from the more traditional ones I've had. Not sure I love it though. Croissant though, very chewy. It's kind of very stiff. It's very dense. It's not really a good croissant. And when you start to look into these types of places, a few names come up often, and definitely this is one of those. It looks perfectly like what a chocolate croissant typically should look like. Again, it looks like good structure. The delicateness of this croissant is really nice. It doesn't really wow me, the chocolate. It has butter in it, but it's not buttery. Solid, traditional chocolate croissant. This reveal is gonna be worth it, because now we're starting to enter into the big boys of bakeries in New York City. This is the Dominique Anzel Bakery chocolate croissant. Chocolate croissant, I said that word, right? Now a little bit in the corners, it looks a little too brown. This bakery is super well known in New York City. This dough right here is looking a little close to not super well cooked there. The bad part about putting extra chocolate in is that it's harder to cook. That extra bar or baton of chocolate makes it. And the crust, while it looks fantastic, doesn't really add any taste to it. This looked fantastic on the outside. Croissant itself just wasn't there. Now these are fun looking. Look at these. They are adorable. Even though small, you can still see all those layers in there. It's so hard to judge this because that powdered sugar hits you right away with that sweetness. I'm making more of a mess on this one than any of them. I really, really like it, but because that sweetness on top kind of overpowers the chocolate in it, I don't quite get enough of the chocolate. Now, I went to their, I think, downtown location, and it was just closed because they were painting, but it didn't say it on their website, and they didn't say it on Google Maps, so I might be a little salty, but this is a big croissant. It's a little sloppy. It's a little bit all over the place. Oh, I feel like I got a whiff of smell from that one. So when I said a little bit sloppy, indeed, it's a little tight in there. Super soft. Melts right as you take a bite. A really nice butteriness to it, but not decadent. It has its own unique kind of take on the croissant. I like it. And immediately, as I pulled this out of the bag, this looks perfect. Look at those layers. That's impressive. All right, this. Woo, the layers. Now this is by far the best looking croissant on the inside. Really, really nice. I swear there's almost like a lemony taste to it. That's a really nice chocolate croissant. Like, that's what I want to see out of these things. It says, just baked, freshly baked, every day. I don't know, this doesn't feel very like romantic, taking my pain au chocolat out of a plastic bag. All right, you definitely start to see some layers in there. Looks nice. It has good structure in there. I like the chocolate that they use for it. I find the croissant itself to be a little uninspiring. There's just something missing in the flavoring of it. Okay, 10 croissants in now, and I'm a little tired. We had to go pick all of these up this morning. It's a lot of sugar, a lot of butter. This is from Bibble and Sip. This box is adorable. BS all you want. I like it. I like how this opens. Oh, love the box appearance. Croissants themselves seem a little dark, a little potentially burnt, and a little too crispy for my taste. Layers, wow. I mean, sloppy, but there are layers there. Oh. Whoa, that was a surprise. I mean, look at that. I could stick my entire finger in that hole. I'm a little worried about holding a croissant like this. I don't know what I'm eating. It literally was biting a little bit of bread, air, chocolate. This is a very weird experience here. Chocolate, great. That is its shining kind of highlight here. But I did not like this croissant. Sorry, Bibble and Sip. It's definitely starting to wane on me now. I like that. Definitely more oily than the other ones. A little dense cutting through, but ooh, that color got me so excited, but look at that. You see how close that all is in together? It's just so dense. The chocolate is a little bit too small for my taste too. I just find it too dense. Ooh, there's a gap in here. It might even be a little bit raw right here, a little bit not cooked. Yeah, that feels really bad. One little sad one all the way on the side. I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't baked properly. Yeah, actually, yeah, it's like not even done. All right, sorry, I'm gonna go wash my hair. Yeah, I didn't like that one. Not good. I'm okay, but I'm feeling it. Kind of got me excited in this because it was one of the only places at the time of original research that had a 5.0 review and had more than like 20 reviews. It had like 30 reviews, it was 5.0. While I'm not expecting it to be the best chocolate croissant there is, there's a little bit of me like, hey, maybe I could find the next best chocolate croissant. Okay, maybe I was a little ambitious in my intro there. Let's just take all of these out for a second. These are just so different. Okay. And this one has, it looks like a horn on it. Like, do we see this? This, okay. I had too many croissants. I can't be joking around right now. This is serious. This, it looks like a submarine of a croissant, like with the sticking out over here. This is the weirdest chocolate croissant I've literally ever seen in my entire life. Uh-oh, definitely undercooked over there. Very crunchy chocolate. Like, when does something become not a croissant anymore and just a chocolate roll? It looks worse than it tastes, but it doesn't taste specifically fantastic either. Pabade. Those look great. Not the cleanest rolling, but I think you can see the layers there. Appearance-wise, I think this is pretty good. Very soft to cut through. Little bit gappy in there, not the worst we've seen today. This is a buttery croissant. Starts to enter into that like Costco style buttery croissant, like the type that you just want an egg and cheese on. If this chocolate was a little bit more even and there was a little bit better job in there, this would be near the top. And when you drive up, it wasn't a particularly beautiful street, but then you arrive at this bakery and it was gorgeous on the inside. Oh, color just is beautiful. This is what will go in the dictionary as the size of a chocolate croissant. Let's look at these layers. Yes, yes. Look at those. Beautiful layers. It's really nice. If I was to call this croissant anything, it's balanced. In size, in color, in shape, in taste. I really like this one. We have been through a marathon today, so it all ends here. These are behemoths. It's heavy. I'm just curious about this for a second. Motley is 79.5 grams, 123 grams. Rough math, that's about 50% heavier. I mean, a million layers here. Like, look at all those. I mean, there's all these layers. You hear that? I like the 3 chocolates here. Wow, that is fantastic. There's a sharpness in a good way, and with the sweetness of the chocolate, they just hit together so well. This is, out of all of them, the most decadent croissant there was. Coated my entire mouth with just buttery goodness. I was not expecting it to be so good because of how dense it was, but it's actually very light in the middle. So you have this nice crunch on the outside and then just super soft middle. It's definitely not the most traditional croissant, but the 3 chocolate batons combined again with that crispy crust, that super soft buttery inside, this might be one of the best croissants we've had today. So I've tried all of the chocolate croissants and recovered from the adventure. In the end, there was a tie between Fabrique Bakery and Chalk NYC. I thought Fabrique had the most classically perfect chocolate croissant. I thought Chalk NYC had the most decadent chocolate croissant, just oozing with butter, and those 3 chocolate batons really made a difference. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, to get this list, I wanted to take away all of my bias and look at the math to find the best result. Next was to immediately get rid of anything under a 4.0 average review, and anything under 20 reviews. The thinking is if it had less than 20 reviews, not really significant, and under a 4.0 average was probably just bad. Also, I emailed a bunch of places like Essa Bagel, who bring in their chocolate croissants from other purveyors. So we had to be careful that each place actually made their own chocolate croissants. But now we had some interesting things start to happen. There were now over 380 potential places, an average of about 4.5 rating overall. Doing a scatter plot, you can see there are definitely a few places that stand out from the rest. Another interesting trend started to emerge. We saw a trend that as a bakery had more reviews, the average rating goes down. Makes sense, but it started to level out at about 4.4. So at the 4.4 average rating, we had all of our mega reviews. Even when cross-referencing the 16 places over 1,000 reviews, they all had a 4.3 or higher, except Sarah Betts. Goodbye Sarah Betts, and the total 105 places with 4.3 and lower. But we didn't want to discount our outliers with higher average reviews at 4.8 or 4.9. Maybe they just aren't well known yet. We took the most amount of reviewed places at each average review. The thinking is that in every average review data point, the number of reviews were pretty similar. Or to more simply explain, at a 4.9 average, there was never a review amount that exceeded 250. Then at 4.8, there were never more than about 500 reviews. So if we have a lot of reviews at a data point, that means that those restaurants should be the best of the best. To sum up, it was actually really interesting to comb through data in this way because it opened my eyes on just how popular some places are, as well as just how statistically similar they all become at a certain point. And also just how many freaking bakeries are in New York. Now, as a disclaimer, there are a few places that either weren't open on the days I could do this, or I couldn't confirm they even had chocolate croissants. Also, while places like Supermoon would have been on the list, I don't consider that a chocolate croissant. I've had it before, and there are the thinnest layers of croissant wrapped around an entire serving of chocolate mousse. I consider Supermoon an Instagram bakery. But overall, I think this should really be a good solid list of the best chocolate croissants in New York City. However, I am sure I missed a hole in the wall somewhere, and I am always looking for a better chocolate croissant. So, if you're from New York City, where's your favorite chocolate croissant? Or are you somewhere else in the world that has an amazing chocolate croissant that I should try? Let me know in the comments so I can add it to my list. Thank you so much, and I hope you find your favorite chocolate croissant soon.